There are versions of you, aspects of your soul that are ready to come home, that are waiting for you to drop down into your heart and open yourself to them with love and compassion and with a willingness to understand. You are the home. One second, Murph, lay down, baby. You are the home. And once we realize this and we realize that we are home, not just are we physically like we are home, but like we are the home. And we drop down and surrender to that fact and open up our heart to all of these lost aspects of our soul and welcome them home with forgiveness and compassion. That is where your power comes from. Not power in the egotistical sense of the word, but true internal freedom and power. It comes from you opening your heart to all aspects and versions of yourself, whether past versions of you in this lifetime or other aspects of you in different dimensions and realms or other lifetimes. They're waiting for you to open your heart and invite them in with forgiveness and compassion and grace and understanding. And only when you are able to do this for all versions and aspects of yourself will you step into your wholeness, step into your completeness. There is nothing you must gain or achieve outside of yourself, external from you. It all happens in your heart. It happens when you lay down your weapon and surrender to yourself. Surrender to the aspects and versions of yourself you have been battling, you have been fighting, you have been at war with. When you can lay down your weapons against these versions of yourself and open your arms in forgiveness and love and compassion, you will step into your wholeness and you will activate so many ancient codes that are within you, that are waiting for you to activate them by no longer running, no longer hiding, no longer fighting, but surrendering, allowing your heart to feel like it is breaking, when in reality it's just the outer shell that has been hardened by concrete falling away so that your heart can expand and get bigger. Your heart is not truly breaking when it feels like it's breaking. It is the hardened exterior that we have used to protect ourselves that is falling away and allowing for more love to pour in. But the love cannot pour in when we have that hardened shell around it. If you feel like you are battling yourself and it hurts and it's painful and you want to scream at the top of your lungs, I understand. And I just want to give you a perspective switch that perhaps after you scream in your mind, I do that all the time. When I get overwhelmed with my thoughts, I literally, even if I don't look like I'm physically screaming, I'll close my eyes and just scream as loud as I can in my head. Sounds silly, but it helps. After you scream, after you cry, after you punch a pillow, whatever you need to do, sit down and comfort yourself. Sit down and make a promise to yourself that you are never going to turn a blind eye to the parts of yourself that are suffering ever again. Make a commitment to yourself that even when it hurts, even when it feels like your heart is breaking and it's never going to be able to mend itself back to health, that you will never turn your back on yourself ever again. And sit with each version and aspect of yourself in meditation, while journaling, however you get into that space. Sit with these versions of yourself and listen to their story, listen to their voice, feel their emotions as you hold. It is your role as your higher self to hold a space of loving awareness, compassion, and forgiveness as you allow these aspects and versions of yourself to tell you what they need to tell you, to show you how they're feeling, to show you memories that are keeping them up at night. And it's not your job to get lost in all of that with these aspects of yourself. It is your job to hold that loving awareness. It is your job to hold that presence of compassion and oneness and truth and God, so that these aspects of yourself can feel loved and understood and seen and heard and validated, so that they feel comfortable enough in your presence and no longer feel the need like they need to battle you in order to get heard, in order to be seen. When we are battling ourselves, it is because there is a version of ourself that does not feel seen, heard, validated, or understood, and it's getting louder and louder and louder because we're ignoring it. We're pushing it away. We don't want to look at it. We want to turn a blind eye. And that is how we come into separation with ourselves. That's how we show ourselves that we are not a trusted space, that we are not a safe space. And it's okay, have compassion for yourself when you see that you have been doing this, but then choose to bravely turn and face the version of you that is in pain, rather than shunning it, shaming it, screaming at it. Face it and hold a sense of love, compassion, forgiveness, and understanding like you have never held before, and let this version of yourself tell you what it needs to tell you, show you what it needs to show you, and then bring it back in to yourself. Whether you need to visualize this version of yourself once it has completed its expression, it turns into an orb of light, and then you take this orb of light and merge it into your heart. Whether you see this version of yourself after it's completed its expression, it just turns into a light body and steps into you and merges with your light body. However you see this completion and oneness taking place, however it works for you, but it's time to become the version of ourselves that we need, that these lost aspects of ourselves need. It's time to become that older sibling or whatever it is that we need, that this lost, sad version of ourselves needs. It's time for us to become that and to step back in wholeness with all aspects of ourselves. Because this is where true freedom lies. This is where abundance lies. This is where peace lies. This is where joy lies. This is where everything lies, is when we can merge back into a oneness with ourselves from within. To accept and forgive all versions and aspects of ourselves. And when it's hard, having compassion and understanding for this version that may not want to forgive or look at right now. Even forgive that part of yourself that doesn't want to look. It's okay. Forgive. Surrender to where you are. And keep moving forward. Everything that you are afraid of, everything that is loud right now is just a version of yourself that needs your attention, love, support, compassion, and forgiveness. And when we can learn to do that for ourselves, that is when we also learn how to do that for the world, which is what the world needs right now more than anything. Okay? I love you. Thank you for doing this work. I know it's not easy, but it is worth it. And if you made it to the end of this video, it is what we chose to come here and do in this lifetime. So I'm proud of you. I have honor and respect for you. And I will talk to you later.